Happy Monday, folks. This is Coach Johnson. I want to give a couple announcements in this video and a couple tips that might be helpful for you, but most likely was probably going to upset you, but that's just kind of how things go when I do videos on this kind of topic. So just finished a 6-week fitness challenge. So I set a target goal, and I hit it, and so hopefully you guys, if you were doing it with me, you did too. So far the first goal I set was a weight goal, and I got that target, and that's good. Weight goal is a good thing, it's not bad. Then the next one was a clothing goal. I want to hit a certain clothing size. I got that one too. I think that's a better goal. And I'll be doing another one here shortly, and it's going to be a body fat percentage goal. We use the calipers to measure that. I think that's a better goal. Anyway, but today's video is mostly about a training program I put together. I started toying with last year, and I want to relaunch it and really kind of make it more comprehensive. This is the Fast 5 Fitness Camp. Now, the Fast 5 Fitness protocol is, I got this from the way we used to train fighters. The way we train fighters is you have a periodized program. What that means is you have a varying level of intensity or volume over a course of time. And when you train someone to compete, it could be for anything, it doesn't have to be for a fight, it could be for any really high intensity sporting event. You kind of start off with low intensity, build the technical stuff, and you gradually increase, and you want to get that peak efficiency when basically the motor is running on all the cylinders, and they're feeling good and sharp, and they're strong and they're healthy, and that's the peak. You want that to happen right before the event. The event happens, they do the competition, and they come back, and maybe a short rest, and they come back, and you restart this kind of a periodized program. It's very difficult to expect someone to train at 100% all the time. And when people do that, that's how you get injured or overtrained or just burn out. You just don't want to do it anymore. So for me personally, when it comes to my conditioning program, I prefer really hard, really short conditioning workouts. Excuse me, a bit of a cold. Some folks like to do a little bit longer and want to do a little lower intensity, either because they prefer that or they just aren't ready for that for the next level up, and that's fine too. So the Fast 5 works like this. The whole class is a half hour long. But really, the Fast 5 concept that we're going to do is not just the class. It's really it's going to be the class. Fitness class is going to be, you can attend our regular classes for kickboxing or Krav Maga. We're going to be some meal prep guidance. I'm going to have a coaching group that's just for the people on this program. So it's really comprehensive. And that's going to be starting around the middle or second half of October, which should get you done just in time for Thanksgiving. So that's kind of our target. People look at the holidays come up and they use an excuse to overeat, not having time. So I'm going to have more details on that. I'll have links in this group on that. So I'm only taking 10 people, folks. And one of the reasons for that is we do a circuit training class for the fitness camp, and it requires a certain amount of stations, and we don't have a huge facility. And I really don't want to have to monitor because I'll be doing the class with you guys most of the time, if possible. I don't want to have to monitor 20 people doing a class. I don't want to do one of those boot camp classes where you have 30 people doing stuff at a crazy high intensity with technique going here and there. And I want everybody that's participating to have some good instruction and have a good camaraderie without having to be overwhelmed by dozens of people who don't know what they're doing. So with the program, you get the classes, the Fast 5 fitness course. You'll get ability to go do our regular fitness classes at our facility. You're going to get our coaching group. You're going to get hand wraps because you'll need hand wraps for the Kavadas part. You're going to get meal guidance and coaching videos in that group. So and we'll do measurements before and we'll do measurements after. And the measurements can be, we'll either do body fat or we'll do tape measure, or we can do weight, or we can do all. Whatever metric we decide is going to be the most effective for you to set your goals, that's what we set. So here's the reality. 5 weeks isn't a ton of time. It's just over a month. And one of the benefits is it doesn't require a ton of commitment. One of the challenges I hear over and over again is I don't have time, I don't want to commit, I don't have this. And most of our folks that do sign up with us are with us for a long time, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. But some folks have a real anxiety about that kind of commitment. And I get that. So we do options like we do a class card option in our facility. But the Fast 5 is great because you don't have to commit for a long time, just over a month. That way you can come and try it out, get with it, have fun. The class is not for people who have never worked out in the last 3 years. It's going to be a relatively difficult workout. So if you're just starting off, that's fine. We'll work with you. But be aware that the Fast 5 camps are really, really high intensity training. And they're designed to be very, very vigorous, but very short. So if you do the class, maybe just stick to the regular kickboxing classes that we have would be better, which you're allowed to do with the Fast 5 protocol. And, because we'll do our Fast 5 fitness camp. It's going to be later in the evening after our regular classes end. We might do some morning classes too. I haven't decided that completely. Anyway, so let me talk real quick about this concept of don't have time. And this is where people will usually come after me, with pitchforks and torches. If you're overweight or obese, and that's the challenge you're facing, which is approximately a third to half of Americans right now, it is not because you don't have time to work out. I mean, that's a factor. Obviously, working out will help you lose weight. It'll help you be stronger. Most importantly, it's going to help you be healthier as far as how your system's working correctly and your immune system and whatnot. But if you're overweight or obese, it's because you're eating too much and or the wrong kind of food. And that's a big factor. That's why in this course, we're going to do some meal guidance, because even though everybody gets fixated on the training and the sweating and the Instagram selfies of this dripping sweat and the war face, and that's not the most important part if your challenge is to lose body fat. The most important part is this discipline and the education of what you're actually going to be eating. And that's what we'll talk about that. Now, some folks have different ideas, and I think pretty much anything's an improvement over the typical American diet, which is a lot of processed foods, very high in carbs. You got your cereal, bread, pasta, sodas, alcohol. Those things are really problematic. Some folks like to go for a vegan or a plant-based approach. I don't particularly agree with that, but I think that's a better option than what people are eating for the most part. So I think that's a step up from typical American diet. I'll get more in detail on that, and I'll have some articles, and we'll do some training in there. So anyway, it's a long video, guys, but anyway, I'm excited. I've done the second challenge in the last few months, hit the targets. I'm looking like I feel like I'm looking good. I feel good. I have a lot of energy. I'm looking forward to this next phase. Next phase for me, I'll tell you those goals when we do in a few weeks. But Fast 5 Fitness Camp, it's the Fast 5 training course. It is the kickboxing classes. It's the coaching group with the meal guidance. It's hand wraps that are included. We're going to do your initial measurements, and you want the same person doing your measurements if at all possible, so there's no discrepancy on technique. So anyway, I'm pretty excited, guys. So that's what's going on. If you have questions that aren't answered in the text, feel free to shoot me an email or a private message. You can email me at martialartssantee@gmail.com, or just put a comment's fine. But if you're going to ask me questions, I prefer that to be more private, because you may have private questions. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.